Dear Dad, it's been 15 years since you left us. A lot has changed, but I think I'd be making you proud. A degree from SC State and USC Law. You would love my wife, Jill, and I represent our community in the State House. But now I'm doing something bigger, running for Senate to continue fighting for our community, creating opportunities and protecting the rights of those who need a voice. Because Dad, that's the world you taught me to believe in.
It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It is showtime, Geno Jones Showtime. I'm coming to you live Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, 5 evenings a week, depending on what your time zone is. 6:30 p.m. on the East Coast, 5:30 in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Subscribe, share, please share with everybody. All right, I want to get it in 45 days. Let's say 60 days. I want to get another 1,000 new subscribers in the next 60 days. How about that? Let's just say today's the June 5th. August 5th, 1,000 new subscribers. So if you're watching me right now live or watching me whenever on demand when you had time, 1,000 new subscribers. So subscribe, share. So everybody share with everybody you know. Share this episode, copy and paste the link. Share it with like 100 people in your contacts, and that'll help me do it. Just imagine. So if 100 people who are watching this show, and I know I got way more than 100 people watching, either watching me live or watching me on demand when you get time. 100 people, if you like share it to 10 people and tell them to subscribe to my channel, won't cost them a penny. That's 1,000 new subscribers. So help a brother out, help a black-owned media company out. Subscribe, share, screen grab, rip the video, screen grab it, or some folks call it ripping the video. Subscribe, share, screen grab. Be sure to like, give me 2 thumbs up, and binge watch all my back episodes, okay? The Geno Jones Show is brought to you by CM Transportation. It is one of the largest owned, black-owned, owned by a black woman. Carissa Carter is the CEO. It's one of the largest, and it really is one of the largest transportation, black, white, alien, pink, green owned company in America. If you and your business, if you need a transportation company that is dependable, reliable, and on time, contact CM, like Mary, CM Transportation, LLC.net. Just check them out, go online. cmtransportationllc.net, or you can call them. They're based here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro, but this is a company that does business nationwide. 843 area code 606-2702, 843 area code 606-2702. Tell Carissa Carter or anybody at CM Transportation. You've been watching the Geno Jones Show. You have a business and you need a transportation company that's dependable, reliable, and on time. Because the one that you got ain't dependable, ain't reliable, never on time, on CP time, or you're about to launch and start a new business and you need a transportation company that is dependable, reliable, and on time. So let me jump today's show off. For my Geminis, happy birthday. Today is June 5th. Mr. Brian McKnight, double nickel today. June 5, 55, Brian McKnight, who's been, there's been a lot of talk about Brian McKnight. He's been on social media. He was, what really kind of got him in hot water with a lot of people. So I guess Brian and his children, his oldest children by his first wife, they're having issues. There's a lot of conflict. And Brian McKnight said publicly that, I think he posted it or said it publicly, that his first set of children are products are a product of sin. Yo, Brian, it's your birthday, man. So look, I'm not going to go in on you on your birthday. I hope and pray that you and your family can work that out. I get it. Listen, family falls out. It's my mother who's watching now, and she'll say, Jeannie, teeth and tongue fall out, and they're in the same mouth. But, hopefully you can work that out, because the bottom line, your kids didn't ask to come here. So however they got here, they had no control over that. That was on you, partner, you and their mom. So just saying that. But happy birthday, happy double nickel to you. Also, here locally, so my radio sister, Savannah J., her brother is one of the longshoremen here. Longshoremen, they have a strong union. It's a great organization. Longshoremen, they basically work, all the goods, products and goods that you see on these big carriers. These are the gentlemen, these are the men that take the stuff off of these huge, barges and containers, and they get them to your grocery store. They get them to your furniture store. They get them to wherever you need it. Your food, your medicine, your furniture, your clothing, your electronics, your hair, your weaves, all of that. So a happy birthday to a brother named Akbar Monday. Happy birthday, Brother Akbar, your baby sister, my radio sister. Savannah J. said, be sure, Geno, that you wish my brother Akbar Monday a very happy birthday. So happy birthday to your brother, and shout out to all the longshoremen out there watching the show. Happy heavenly birthday to one, Breonna Taylor. So Breonna Taylor was born on this day in 1993. Now, Breonna Taylor should still be alive. 4 years ago, she was back, I think this happened in March of 2020. She's a first responder, I think a EMT, paramedic, and she was in her bed asleep. And the police officers for the city of Louisville, I can say Louisville, spelled like Louisville, but they'll tell you it's Louisville, Kentucky. I think it was 4 police officers at least. So these police officers went to the wrong house looking for somebody that wasn't there. And they shot through her doors, and they killed Breonna Taylor in her bedroom. Now, you had a situation with Ahmaud Arbery, who was just jogging, and you had these racist murderers that followed this black guy because he was jogging through a neighborhood. They claimed that they thought he was going to break in, and they killed Ahmaud Arbery. That happened in 2020. Then we had Breonna Taylor that was killed in 2020. And then we had George Floyd, who Derek Chauvin, who's in prison right now, the murderer, the killer, who put his knee on George Floyd's neck for nearly 10 minutes until George Floyd couldn't breathe. He literally killed him on camera, and was so arrogant and narcissistic and demonic and evil and inhuman. He knew that he was being recorded, Derek Chauvin, and looked right into the damn camera and put his hands in his pocket and kept his knee on George Floyd's neck. And that led to a summer of, some people call it, I'll call it a summer of racial reckoning. And we had the protest from Ahmaud Arbery's murder and Breonna Taylor's murder and George Floyd's murder, and the Black Lives Matter movement really went to the next level, and everything around that happened that summer. So Breonna Taylor, her murder, and those police officers didn't do a minute in jail. They weren't even charged. And there was a black man who was the DA, who's part of the MAGA cult, didn't have the decency, the humanity, and the guts He saw the video just like we saw it. He saw that George Floyd, that Breonna Taylor, he knows what happened. They shot into the woman's home and they killed her while she was sleeping in her bed. And he didn't have the guts, decency, or humanity, or compassion, or empathy to charge any of the police officers. They shot and killed Breonna Taylor in her bed. So happy heavenly birthday to Breonna Taylor. Your spirit lives on forever. You know, your mom is still here and your family. So I just wanted to shout her out. So all right, today, this is what I want to do today. So election day is in about 5 months, actually about 5 months from yesterday. Election day is the first Tuesday in November. So roughly we got 150 some odd days. Now, there's still a lot of misinformation and confusion, and intentionally, because you got the MAGA cult and those globally, because this white Christian, this white nationalist movement is a global movement. White nationalism, sexism, misogyny, which never went anywhere. And unfortunately, you have some black people who buy into the brainwashing of this ideology of white nationalism, and here white Christian nationalism, which is Putin is part of the movement, Viktor Orban in Hungary. Like I said, it's a global movement. I could go on and on and on. But, you know, I've heard, first of all, let me dispel this rumor and myth. There's not a large number of black men that's going over to support Orange Hitler, who we refer to on this show, Orange Hitler. If you've been watching the show, if you knew, Donald John Trump, the J really stands for jackass, or 34 and counting. Some people call him 45. Folks are calling him 34 and counting. We call him Orange Hitler. And unfortunately, sometimes you have some black people historically, they have always bought into the brainwashing of anti-blackness. And I've heard a few conversations, I've seen them online, and I know some people who feel that, well, you know, he gave us business people a tax break. Now, unless you are like a multimillionaire, billionaire, you know, if you a really small mom and pop operation, no, those tax cuts were not targeted toward you. They were targeted to the billionaires, the CEOs on that level, in the C-suite, as they call it, the CEO suites, or the C-suites in corporate America, the billionaires. But some misguided folks that look like us think that their money will shield them from the racism and the hate and revenge and bigotry and the bloodthirst and bloodlust to want to trigger a war, a civil war. So many of these MAGA cult members are speaking openly that if Orange Hitler gets back into power, it's going to be revenge. We're going to lock up President Biden and his family, Hillary Clinton, and all these, you know, progressive liberal Negroes and gays and lesbians and trans people and women that need to be barefoot and pregnant. We're going to ban abortion. We're going to ban birth control. But there's some out there that think that their money, as long as they kiss enough ass, maybe they figure they can kiss Orange Hitler's ass. Hello, Tim Scott. Hello, Brian Donaldson, or Byron Donaldson, who is from New York City originally. He's in Florida. Byron Donaldson is a congressperson. His district is somewhere in Florida. He's in the United States House of Representatives, who had the nerve to say that Jim Crow wasn't bad for black people. Let me say that again. a black man, well educated, but was he? Who educated him? And what education did he get? And what books? Because apparently I don't care where his degree is from, I don't care what college or university, for a black man in 2024 to say Jim Crow wasn't bad for black people. Google that. Byron Donaldson, U.S. Congressman out of Florida, said that the Jim Crow era, the rape, the murder, the lynching and burning of bodies and the castration of black men and taking the black men's organs and putting them in their noses and mouths and then lynching them and then burning them. The rape, the murder, the enslavement, all the Jim Crow laws that allowed lynching and murder and rape to be legal and to never hold these white nationalists accountable, that the Jim Crow era wasn't that bad for black people. This is a black dude that said that. Now maybe Byron Donaldson thinks, he and Tim Scott think, because they kiss up to the MAGA cult, they kiss their ass, and they kiss the ass of the dear leader, Orange Hitler. And because they're making a good salary, and Tim Scott, I think, he had an insurance agency. I don't know, I think he had a State Farm insurance business, some type of insurance business, I remember. Because I'm here in South Carolina, so he's one of the 2 senators for the state of South Carolina. So I've heard some of these black MAGA cult members, and they feel that, because he was good for the economy. He wasn't good for poor and working class people. You know, the majority of people on welfare are white. As a matter of fact, white women make up the largest bulk of people on welfare. White women. Let's talk about poverty. The top 10 counties in America, the top 10 counties, the poorest counties in America. Do you know over half? I think the top or bottom 5 poorest counties in America are virtually all white. 90+%, 95%, 97%, 98%, 99%. Kentucky, West Virginia. 2 of the poorest states in America. Predominantly, the vast majority, like West Virginia is like 90+% white. The vast majority of Kentucky, overwhelmingly white. Easily, I don't have the numbers in front of me, easily over 70%, easily. She was way more than that. But there's some misguided black people, some of these brothers, because I'm a black man, so I can speak to other black men when I hear these conversations. I don't really engage them, but I've heard a few, and they feel that their money and their proximity to white power is going to give them a pass. But oh my brother, I want to give you an assignment, and I'm sure Senator Tim Scott knows when I give this name. He knows about the situation. He knows enough about history. And maybe Byron Donaldson down in Florida, the congressman, he may or may not know. But if you think that this MAGA cult movement that is calling for civil war and revenge and retribution, and it's in Project 2025, they already have the plan, 1,000-page plan, the blueprint. And in that plan is to use the military as local police. So when you have a Breonna Taylor that's murdered in her bed while she sleep. And we have an Ahmaud Arbery who was murdered while he was jogging, minding his own damn business. And when you have a George Floyd who is murdered by a racist cop that puts his knee on the man's neck for nearly 10 minutes, and people peacefully protest, which is their First Amendment right to peacefully protest. And then the occult leader sends the military, sends the National Guard, sends the Marines, sends the Army to shoot peaceful protesters, to stop them from protesting. The kind of stuff that happens in Russia and in China. They are telling you, it's in writing, it's in black and white. You can download Project 2025 in your office on your PC right now. Just Google Project 2025. I think the Heritage Fund, they put it together. Google and just type Google, download Project 2025. They're telling you what they're going to do. They're going to militarize. They're going to use the military to put down peaceful protests. And primarily in cities where there's a large population of black people. They say, oh yeah, we're going to send the military to Chicago and Detroit and Atlanta and Newark and New York City and Los Angeles and Houston and Mobile, Alabama, and St. Louis and Memphis. They're telling you. Not only are they telling you, they've published it and they've printed it. And it's in black and white. You would see it for yourself. So if you think, let me go back to people like U.S. Senator Tim Scott and U.S. Congressman out of Florida, Byron Donaldson, who says that Jim Crow really wasn't that bad for black people. Jim Crow wasn't bad. A black man said that in 2024. I want to explain to you, I want to tell you to Google something called crystal knot. And I think I'm pronouncing it correct. It's a German word, crystal knot. Just if you got the Google that you can talk into, just grab your phone and pull up, the little Google thing and just Google crystal knot.
According to Wikipedia, Kristallnacht, or the Night of Broken Glass,
there you
also
go.
called the November Pogrom, was a pogrom against Jews carried out by the Nazi Party's Sturmabteilung and Schutzstaffel paramilitary forces,
Okay.
along with some participation from the Hitler Youth and German civilians.
Okay, thank you, young lady. That's all I need. Crystal knot. Kristallnacht. Crystal knot. Crystal knot. Google that. That's crystal knot. Crystal knot. The night of broken glass. You heard it. For Hitler and his brown shirts. Oh, do we have brown shirts? We have wannabe brown shirts. We have all these militias. I'm here in South Carolina. They've got all these white militias here in South Carolina. They've got chapters of the Oath Keepers and the Three Percenters and the Proud Boys. That's what the brown shirts were. And when Hitler came into power, he unleashed the brown shirts. It would be like Orange Hitler or Trump kind of unleashing. Wait a minute, we already saw this. He unleashed them on January 6th to attack the U.S. Capitol and to stop a peaceful transfer of power and to try to violently overthrow a duly elected government. So we saw it already. We saw Crystal Knot, and it was in the daytime on January 6, 2021. And if you think that your money will protect you because you wear a red tie or because you kiss their ass, if you think that your money will protect you from the white nationalists, and the Oath Keepers and the Three Percenters and the Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys, you are sadly mistaken. So, in closing, I want to speak to my young people. I speak to everybody, but I really want to speak to my millennials and Gen Zers. And I know a lot of you all are disenfranchised and you're not really happy, with President Biden for, whatever your reasons are. You feel that he's really supported the state of Israel, who has a white nationalist as their prime minister, who is more responsible, who is let's put it, let me be fair with this. He is nearly as responsible. I could make an argument that Bibi Netanyahu is equally responsible for what happened to the 1,200 Jews that were murdered in the state of Israel on October 7th. Now you might be saying, Geno, how could you say that? Oh, that's hate speech. No, that's a fact. Why do I say that? Because Bibi Netanyahu and his military, for over a year before October 7th of 2023, the Bibi Netanyahu and the Israeli defense literally had the plans of October 7th on paper, sketches, like an architect's sketch of their plans, how they would fly in on hang gliders, and they had wire cutters, and they would cut the fences. They would attack these areas, Jewish communities, and they would murder and rape and kidnap. It was on paper. And they had a copy of the plan. Bibi Netanyahu. For years, Bibi Netanyahu had been telling one of Israel's neighbors in the Middle East, Qatar, who's kind of like one of the financial backers of Hamas. As a matter of fact, Bibi Netanyahu was telling Qatar to continue to financially support Hamas because we want to pit the Palestinians who are part of Hamas against another group of Palestinians on the east side of the state of Israel on the Gaza Strip with the Palestinian organization. So Bibi Netanyahu was trying to pit one group of Palestinians against another, and he was using Qatar to do it and getting Qatar to give Hamas money. As a matter of fact, as late as a month, 3 to 4 weeks before October 7th happened, Bibi Netanyahu sent someone from his administration to Qatar, and the people in Qatar who was giving money to Hamas asked Bibi Netanyahu and his representative, "Are you sure you still want us to finance Hamas?" And Bibi Netanyahu said, yes. He'd given Hamas money. He knew that they were a terrorist organization then, but he was still propping them up financially through another Muslim country because he was trying to pit one group of Palestinians against another. But it came back to bite him in the ass. And you had over 1,200 innocent Israeli men, women, and children. So I share that story with everybody to bring it back to, I want to speak to my young people. So I understand that the situation, the horror, the genocide. I'm just going to call it the way I see it. The genocide of over 30,000, the majority of these women and children who were innocent, who were not part of Hamas, the 1,200 innocent Israeli people who Bibi Netanyahu could have saved had he taken that threat serious when he had the plans for the threat. He had the plans in writing for over a year. He knew about it. His defense, his military had the plans. And then as late as 3 to 4 weeks before October 7th was still telling Qatar to continue to give Hamas money, knowing that they were a terror organization. So I understand what's happening in the Middle East is very discouraging to a lot of, not just young men and women, young brothers and sisters, but a lot of us, disturbing to myself included. Anytime there's a loss of innocent life, inexcusable. But what I want my young people to know, the choice that you have in November, on November 5th, you are choosing between your freedom and your oppression. This is not a beauty contest. This is not a popularity contest. This is not who I like, who I want to hang out with, who I think shares all of my views and worldviews and ideology. You have a choice between decency and inhumanity. You have a choice between a man, President Biden, who has done a lot for all of us and done a lot for the African American community. A lot of you all watching me right now had your student loans either completely erased or dramatically reduced. A lot of you all were getting the child tax credits, $250, $300 a month per child. And the only reason it stopped because the MAGA cult took control of the House of Representatives. And the members of the House of Representatives, they control the money. The best example to give you, they are like the accountant and the business manager on your job. The president can ask, say, I want so many millions of dollars to go here or there. But unless Congress approves of it, the House of Representatives controls the money. The U.S. senators pick the judges on the Supreme Court, which is another reason that you need to vote. Do you want more racist judges? More judges to ban, make abortion illegal in every state, to ban birth control, to lock women up and throw them in prison for terminating a pregnancy or giving you a life sentence because you drove your girlfriend or your fiance or your bestie to an abortion clinic in a state to where abortion was legal? Do you want the National Guard and the Marines and the Army to take over the police department and to be the police in your community? And when you have a peaceful protest, when there's a shooting of an unarmed black man, woman, child, black or brown person, or anyone, and you peacefully protest, and the National Guard and the Marines and the Army, they come out, and to stop you from protesting, they start shooting. And they start shooting peaceful protesters. Because they told you, they're telling you, it's all in Project 2025, everything I just mentioned. But what I want you to understand is that the reason why you've got this cult so crazy and so desperate, because they know they are on their last legs. It seems like an animal in the wild is most dangerous when it's closest to death. That's when it becomes its most desperate. This cult of hate, bigotry, fear, ignorance, racism, misogyny, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, and all of it is, for the most part, dying out. Yeah, you got some young folks that's been brainwashed, but for the most part, it's dying out. And a lot of these old people, some who are virulently racist, and some who are just agnostic, don't give a damn. They just care about money. But they know hate and fear and ignorance has always been big business, not just here in America, but all around the world. All the weapons and bombs and guns and ammunition. Why do people do it? Because they fear. They fear somebody. They fear the other. Hate and fear and ignorance has always made a small handful of people big money, but they know that they're losing power. And they know to specifically address my millennials and Gen Zers on my way out, that you, my millennial brothers and sisters, you, my millennial brothers and sisters of all races, shades, ethnicities, religious origins, some that don't even believe in God, doesn't matter. They know that you have the power. There are more millennials and more Gen Zs in America than any other group. More than Gen Xers, more than baby boomers, more than the greatest generation. Millennials and Gen Zs make up the largest part of our population. You all have the power, and they know you have the power, and they are afraid that you will step into your power and that you will step into positions of leadership and make this a better place. And doing that could cost some of them a lot of money. Millions, billions, trillions of dollars, and they don't want that. I was watching a documentary about this legendary record company from the late 60s and 70s, Stax Records. And one of the co-owners, there was a brother named Al Bell, who came in and eventually became one of the co-owners. He learned his dad had some kind of business where he delivered one of the Rockefellers some kind of goods or products. And he said he struck up a conversation with, I think it was John Rockefeller, when he was a young man, a teenager. And John Rockefeller explained how people on that level, the CEOs and the billionaires, think. Especially the ones with these businesses that have made billions and trillions of dollars off of hate, bigotry, fear, and ignorance. If you grow a business and it begins to compete and take some of their business away, the first thing they'll do, they'll try to buy you out. If they can't buy you out, they'll try to copy your business. And if they can't copy it successfully, then they will try to destroy your business. Millennials and Gen Zers, these old, hateful racists, primarily men, primarily white men, with some white women and Hispanic men and women, and some black men and women sprinkled in, that have been brainwashed with this ideology of whiteness, which is made up. It's a made up bullshit construct. There's nothing in the human genome that says that you are black or white. It's not. Get the little ancestry.com, just go get a DNA test to find out like your origin, your heritage. It's not gonna come back and say, oh, you 85% white. No, it ain't gonna do that. Because whiteness was made up for power, for a small handful of people to have power and to pit groups of people against each other so those in the positions of power could maintain and control the social, economic, and political power. But millennials and Gen Zs, you all have the power. And you know how? Because you got the numbers. It's math. And all you have to do is understand that you are voting to choose. It's a choice. You are voting for your freedom or your oppression. And if you're not voting, then you are giving your power away to people who want your demise. You are giving your power away to a white nationalist, a white Christian nationalist, an oath keeper, a 3%er, a proud boy, a boogaloo boy that wants to have a civil war, that want that wants black people to not have any more voting rights, civil rights. So if you're thinking about saying, well, you know what, I'm just going to protest, I'm not going to vote, be very careful. Because if you sit this election out, the people who have put together Project 2025 and the MAGA cult members, their plans is for you to never, ever vote again. And if you do somehow vote, your vote won't be counted. So be careful. Think about that. Step into your power. You have the power. Don't give it away. Use it. You can change the world. If you want the world to have more compassion and empathy for the Palestinians, then you need to put people in office or run for office yourself. So you can be in those corridors of power and you can decide how much money will go to the state of Israel every year, if any, and how much money should go to the Palestinians. You can make you get to decide, women and men, if women have all the freedoms, including the reproductive freedom that they should have, that they are entitled to, that no one should be able to tell anyone what to do with their body, man or woman. That no books should be banned, and the truth of America should be taught in every school, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if it makes some white child feel bad about themselves, that's a good thing. And you know why it's a good thing? Because it means if a young white child learns the full truth about America and feels bad, you can explain to them, you don't have to feel bad about yourself. You didn't do it. Your ancestors did it. We've all made mistakes. But you, young person, we want you to learn about the mistakes of the past so you won't grow up to make the same mistakes. Thank you for letting me be a part of your life. As always, God bless each and every one of you. Hello. Hello to my mother, my number one fan. I love you, mother. So once again, please subscribe, share this episode, screen grab this episode, this monologue, rip the video, and copy and paste the link. My goal, the next 60 days, I want to have 1,000 new subscribers in 60 days. So everybody that's watching me live or whenever you're watching me, that's my goal. Share this and share this episode. If 100 people share this episode with 10 people they know, share it, get to tell them to subscribe to the channel. If 100 people can do that for me, 100 people share it with 10, with 100, or 1,000 people can share it with one person. But I say share it with 10, share it with 100 people. Copy and paste the link. So and tell them to subscribe, share, like, screen grab, binge watch all my back episodes. The Geno Jones Show brought to you by CM Transportation. If you have a business, maybe a new business, or maybe you have an existing business, and your transportation company is not dependable, reliable, or on time, I got you. As a matter of fact, CM Transportation, they got you. Shout out to Carissa Carter, the CEO of CM Transportation, black-owned business, black woman-owned business, one of the top transportation companies in America. You can call them at 843 area code. They're based here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro, 843 area code 606-2702, 606-2702, 843 area code, or CM, like Mary, my mom's name, CM Transportation LLC.net, CM Transportation LLC.net. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show, CEO of Designer Cuts here in the Charleston, South Carolina metro. Check him out online on IG, Instagram. Kel be cutting up KELBECUTTINUP. Allie Jones and Bruce Gage, the official wardrobe consultants and stylists for the Geno Jones Show. Check Allie Jones and her Lexi Jones collection out at LX.NCL_ is that little dash behind that last L at the bottom. LX.NCL_. Bruce Gage, Miglio D. Mario Uomo. That's Miglio D. Mario Uomo. Or Flyball the Store, or I should say, and Flyball the Store. MIGLIODIMARIOUOMO. MIGLIODIMARIO. Flyball the Store is real simple. Spell it the way it sounds. FLYBALLTHESTORE.com. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Dear Dad, it's been 15 years since you left us. A lot has changed, but I think I'd be making you proud. A degree from SC State and USC Law. You would love my wife, Jill, and I represent our community in the State House. But now I'm doing something bigger, running for Senate to continue fighting for our community, creating opportunities and protecting the rights of those who need a voice. Because Dad, that's the world you taught me to believe in.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of The Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.